Matthew, how are you? Welcome to the program.
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Good to have you. Ring of Hell. Ring of Hell. Just finished reading Ring of Hell.
Is that a good thing?
I've been to hell and back. No, not because of your writing. I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's a tragic story, not just for Chris Benoit, but just as to how the entire wrestling industry is set up.
Was Benoit gay?
Was Benoit what?
Was Chris Benoit gay?
No. He was pretty much the most straight-laced guy in wrestling, which says a lot about him.
Well, then explain to me when I go online and read about Benoit balls what that's all about. Okay. But you are the guy that broke the gay sexual harassment scandal in the WWE. That upset a lot of people.
Yes, it did. I got some incredibly funny responses from people within World Wrestling Entertainment about that. To those who don't know, World Wrestling Entertainment head writer Dave Lagana was extorting sexual favors from male and female talent over the last year or 2 years. And in early 2008, he confronted a wrestler in the men's bathroom, flicked his nipple, and made it come on so lewd that the SEC would shut this program down if I repeated it. Basically, this enraged The Undertaker so much that, according to my sources, I know it's funny that The Undertaker had to make a run-in.
He did a pile driver on him.
Right. He had to go to Human Resources, and despite most people in World Wrestling Entertainment probably knowing about this for a year or longer, it took The Undertaker making a complaint to finally get the guy fired.
Did a lot of the male wrestlers sleep with him?
When this was announced in the locker room, I was told as many as a dozen people raised their hands of doing something or being confronted by this guy, and these are just people that have been are on the roster at the moment, considering that this guy's been around for
who do you believe slept with this guy?
I'm not sure. I'm going to make a wild guess here, but
in your opinion.
In my opinion, I cannot guess.
Okay.
If I did, that would say something about me that I'm fantasizing about who this guy slept with.
Are you shocked about the fall of the Hogan family? How they've revealed themselves to really be bottom feeders?
I can't say I'm surprised by anything from pro wrestling. Hogan has always been a very self-absorbed and somewhat crazy guy. Did I ever expect him to cut heel wrestling promos on brain-dead teenagers? No. I'm not astounded, but it is definitely pretty over the top.
Let's go in to the Ring of Hell.
Love is a burning thing.
Matthew Randazzo, are you the fifth?
Yes, I am the fifth.
Well, such a good name.
Bound by wild desire.
The story of Chris Benoit. Tell me how his last 2 days played out.
Oh, wow, it's a pretty crazy story. Chris Benoit went to the doctor on Friday, last weekend of his life, obtained an enormous amount of drugs from his doctor, who is now being federally prosecuted for basically being a drug dealer. Huge amounts of psychiatric drugs and painkillers. He came to his house on that Friday evening. He got into some type of fight with his wife. Then he bound her with duct tape and strangled her with a television cord. Later the next day, he killed his 7-year-old son with his crippler crossface finishing hold. After that, he called his friends in WWE, said he'd be late, rebooked his plane tickets to make the wrestling events he had that weekend, drank a bunch of alcohol, and then changed his mind and hung himself from his Bowflex weight machine.
How do you know that's how he killed his kid?
The wounds that were left on the body, the people who did the autopsy said only made sense if it was something similar or Benoit's crippler crossface finishing hold, because their wounds were on the left arm and the face and nowhere else.
And didn't he and the kid sit around watching TV for a while with dead mommy in the house?
Yeah, there are also some reports that they went swimming that morning as well, but that can't be conclusively proved. But the creepiest thing is that he was rebooking his plane tickets and fully intended to continue wrestling with his dead family in the house.
We've heard a lot of claims about Vince McMahon over the years. You make some claims in your book. Racist with mob ties?
I tell a bunch of stories about Vince McMahon and Ring of Hell. I had unparalleled access to the inner circle in the WWE, people who work with him on a daily basis. And I tell stories about Vince McMahon using racial slurs, sexually harassing talent. And there are some stories about organized crime fights. For example, I'd go and talk about how in the 80s one WWF talent put a mafia contract on the head of another WWF talent and was not fired. And how for most of the 80s and into the early 90s, the WWF was employing a well-known mobster from Montreal, a guy by the name of Dino Bravo, who was shot shortly after leaving the WWE in a smuggling dispute.
How big is WWE right now? It's dying a little, isn't it?
Actually, last year was their most profitable year.
Oh, like I said, I mean, WWE bigger than ever, right?
Well, in the United States, they're experiencing some difficulties, but their overall brand and profit margin is enormous. They're an extremely profitable.
I'm seeing Tap Out and UFC and all that kind of stuff on people I used to see WWE stuff on. It just seems to me like that's much bigger right now.
Hi, honey. Hi, Dan. Sorry, Mr. Director on the cell phone.
Hey, Chris, it's Ann from the office. Just trying to get in touch with you. It is Sunday evening, I think about 7 o'clock, so we're hoping everything is okay. So if you can call me on
Is everybody trying to get a hold of Benoit's? All the bodies were laying there in the house.
Okay? Just be there, okay?
Ring of Hell. Pretty shocking book. Matthew Randazzo V. It's out now.
Ann from the office, just trying to reach out to you. Give us a call when you have a chance.
Hi, Nancy. It's Marnie in Canada. Just phoning to see if everything's okay, because we've heard terrible reports on the radio, so just calling to confirm. So hopefully we can talk to you soon. Bye.
I would just like to say that I would like to slap every person that feels bad for this Benoit guy. Because guess what? I have pressure at my job. You have pressure at your job. Everyone has pressure. But guess what? They don't kill their wife and kids. Oh, and by the way, I do drugs, and I don't use that as a reason for the stupid things I do. It's time to start.
The Mancow Show. Mancow.
Mancow's Morning Madhouse on the Free Speech Radio Network.
Go to TalkRadioNetwork.com for more information.